Hello, hello, hello. I am back. Sorry about that. It looks like my power cut out. My power actually cut out, but only in my room. This happened to me a few times before, room specific. So usually it's just the internet itself going out, but it has happened when it's just my room. I thought I'd fix it by rerouting a few things to other plugs outside my room, but the fact that even the light makes it go out worries me. I need to see if I should change some light bulbs or something to be more energy efficient. I'll see if there's even a way to rewire the wires. In any case, seems like the game is still right where it was. The stream is right where it was, just restarted a bit. Alright, let's keep it going. Pick up, play down. Not a fishing rod, is it? What is it?
Mr. Dubois, every worker.
Clearly complete his sentence. On the board.
That's right, Mr. Dubois. I see the socialist democratic fervor now burns in your heart too. How can I help you today?
I've just finished investigating the local drug trade. Wow. Made it even shadier.
What?
Shady
Oh, how
blue.
could I forget your little side project? Well done, Harry. Well done. Don't even tell me what it was. But good job. I love it when workers take the initiative like this.
Good. Just finished investigating the local drug trade.
Ah, yes. Your side investigation. Thank you. You've got some spirit clearing up phony drug accusations alongside this murder. I'll talk to the mayor and see if I can get you the key to the city, Harry. Now let's talk real business.
Hey Dev, how you doing?
Actually, Rivershell doesn't have a mayor.
I have a mail. Oh my gosh.
He refuses to discuss it further. It's probably just a small nuisance to him.
It was helping. Mr. Ed was helping me find my gun. He is. I hope he gives it to me soon.
The Golden Boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply wonderful, Harry.
He claps his
Of course.
hands.
I already knew this.
Claps his hands together like a child who's been offered cotton candy. Cotton candy.
My friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a bright future, and you've proven yourself someone I can trust. Someone I can really do business with.
Ha ha ha. But little does he know I forged the signatures, so his project will never happen. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Fools. My friend, my name. I got a lot of experience for that, so that's nice. One great thing, you can someone I can trust, someone I can really do business with.
You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about anything. The strike, the murder, your lost gun, nothing is off the table.
Yay.
See, forging that signature really paid off.
Good thinking interfacing.
Well done, sire. By guile and deceit, you're in.
My gun to see you in. The signatures I got. I know you plan to force them out with the construction noise. I'm not gonna tell him squat about that. Are you kidding me? Can I get my gun now?
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me, but it had to be done.
Can I have my gun now? I want my gun. Give me my gun. Like to get out of my car, guy. Give me my gun. I want my gun. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding this information weighed heavily on me. Fine, where is it?
An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character, so watch out.
An old woman has it? An old woman? What does old woman mean? There's a few old women. This isn't two signatures I need. I need 2 signatures. We don't get signatures anymore. Give me my gun. Now give me my gun. But I can't read these names. Give me my gun now. Give me the gun I shall shot you with. Give it to me. Give me my gun so I can shoot you with it. Now. An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, word on the street is she's a character, so watch out.
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy, the one he described as terrifying.
They were fine. Must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy. That is terrifying. So the gun's still with the woman who bought it from Roy.
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track. Crazy stuff, Harry. Selling your gun like that? Wild. Anyway.
Anyway. Also made the gun easy to track. I think that fishing pole is a recordal. Easy to track. He smiles and shakes his head in wonderment. And who's the woman? I already knew it was a woman.
The neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debarders Union. Apparently, she was waving it around at the entrance to her building.
Entrance to a building. Down at the entrance?
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this does.
Waving around at people. Who is this old woman?
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in blind, Harry. But she's an old lady. How dangerous can she possibly be? Oh, and she calls herself the Pigs.
Doesn't.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls themselves a pig.
Fire flickers in the corner of his mouth. Just waving around at people? I guess I gotta ask just for completion's sake.
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for details. It sounds like she's unstable, but don't worry. No one got hurt.
We might be looking at someone with a medical history here. Watch out.
Medical history. Man, there's so many old women in this game too. Ah, jeez. Who can it be?
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry. I would never set you up for anything dangerous, but you did ask for this. Now, back to the fun stuff.
I'm gonna die. I already have the odds out in next finger. Stalling 22. Near the old fish market on the coast, the one on the boardwalk, or past the fishing village. Be careful, hang on those. Back to the fun
She
stuff.
will be there from 2200 hours till 0200 hours.
Good.
More fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
Looks at you. It seems like we already have fun stuff to do. Did you order the hangman
I
killed?
did not, Harry. Although I am very, very glad he's dead. Why, a war, of course.
And what do you have to gain from a war?
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the Wild Pines group and win before they even realize there is a war.
They destroyed.
I have. It's a great story, Harry. Did you also know how the bee colony kills the giant hornet? They swarm and blanket it entirely until it suffers a massive heat stroke and dies. Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1, and that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off 2 men, or 15 men, or even 50 men.
50 men.
The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. The leftists hate them, the fascists hate them, even the moralists think they're in bad taste.
Which happens to be me! No! I was disconnected to the strike.
Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war.
Class
Or,
war?
in business terms, a dawn raid. Or wait. Is that when you still pay them something? Because we won't do that.
Oh no.
We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates, the containers, that...
I thought it's
train,
completed.
even the damn coffee maker. We're going to take all of it for the people, and fuck Wild Pines.
What is the gates to containers?
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth. He doesn't swear often.
A non-often swear. What a nice guy.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Plus, he knows how to get in here. That woman can't tell her tits from her arsehole. She has no chance.
What?
Tits from her arsehole. It's a local saying.
Actually, no, it's not.
No, it's not. No, it isn't. I found your lie. Why tell me your plans?
Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. You can go tell her if you want. It won't change the course of events. We have a significant head start. It's already happening.
Except the swordfish clock and nods. It's happening! It's happening!
2,372. Plus yours truly, of course.
Union.
2,373 is a sizable contingent for a labor organization in Revachol.
It is pretty big. Funny new independent harbor.
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contacts we'll lose once the poo-poo hits the fan? The
Poo-poo.
clients will ditch us. Harry, we've thought of everything. We've been running back channel negotiations with all the major clients. I think the company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal to Martinez and to the new competitive contracts we can offer. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how fast things go without parasites latching on. We'll have our hands free to pursue bold, exotic new revenue streams.
Old exotic.
That's drugs.
Drugs!
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. There are perfectly legal, 100% ethical chemical factories on the Samaran Isola. You don't need to be colonialist about it.
Oh my gosh.
All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. Old grannies, little babes, people with disabilities.
I'm digging this part. That's just the tip of the iceberg though, isn't it?
The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, may be illegal in some countries. The Debarders Union, however, we're all about the large volume column.
In bulk shipping, large volume column is a major buyer, a shark.
Large volume column is a major buyer. Shock.
We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So your sick kid can get his Benefed, and your wacky uncle doesn't have to come off risperidone.
Find the desk.
Benefed is a children's cold medicine, usually apricot flavored, and risperidone is used to treat severe psychosis.
Thank you, Encyclopedia.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyrrolidone.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. I sometimes grab a beer with the boys, but I have no idea about the things you just mentioned.
Smiles.
But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share. And I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez.
Smile. Smile. He smiles. Yeah, that's pretty much the facial expression of him throughout this whole conversation. Why, yes, thank you. Some sort of rainbow party.
He's basically admitting to it.
He's basically admitting to it. I'll report this. I'll report this. I can't tell that to him.
It's also far removed from my men and the people of Martinez who've put their trust in me. Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be a small part of the harbor's turnover, just like the harbor is, but a small part of Martinez.
Go on.
Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls out there with dreams of making music. Young mothers who want to start businesses. Models who want to walk catwalks and steel welders who want to weld steel. I'm gonna unite them all into one economic body. We're gonna incorporate this place to Kingdom Come. Everyone's gonna be in on the wealth, and everyone's gonna pull their weight.
That sounds like communism to me.
Thank you, Harry, thank you. You have no idea how much it means to me, because in many ways, you are that working man. You have already done so much work.
Can I ask you about specific union members?
We're way past specific union members now. This is the big time. We're talking about the future of Revachol here, Harry.
There's a lot of pull. Yeah, his gravitational mass is serious.
You can bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters. But I'm in big time mode, Harry.
Leonard. I'm not gonna say that.
Great,
That's fine.
Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RCM and the Debarders Union.
Find the sadness in his tone.
This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open.
Why? Cause it would bounce off you in a jiggly way? Boing! Oh! That's a fat joke. My dad had a big belly. Oh well.
Great! You want to bounce something off your old friend Mr. Clare, right? Well, let's hear it, Harry. If she actually wants to see me, she will find...
It's a fortress. He knows he doesn't want to see her. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely, Harry.
Time to see what the new thought does.
15th Indo tribe. Because there was. The 15th Indo tribe was comprised of 8 kids from Forberg and North Jamrock, running from wild dogs in the valley, hiding scents under rocks, and stealing clothes off clotheslines, and sometimes even the copper wiring of phone lines. You may have been one of them. This must be a childhood memory. The 15th Indo tribe was your Indo tribe, set to rule in Celinda. The rest of the kids are dead now. Car accidents and drug overdoses. Only you remain.
The heck? The tribe was comprised of 8 kids from Pharaoh and North Jamrock. They just called themselves the 15th Indo tribe as a kids group. Plus 10 cents for every green orb clicked. I think I may have clicked on all the orbs in the game already for all I know. But increasing a lonely cap is pretty nice. Free money. Potentially. Alright then. See what Leonard has to say about this. I still don't know who the 8th Holly goal is. She needs to be here somewhere. Leonard.
Oh, hey, mister. I need no trouble at all, mister. No, Mr. Evrat doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys. But who did you want to talk about?
Any of this, I guess.
Mr. Edgar is Mr. Evrat's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does. But a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revershaw, they say. All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Evrat's turn to look after the union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Safra. Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
South Safra. A lot of bulk chemical manufacturing going on there. A lot of cargo shipments being made, too. The trade must have been lucrative for the trip to be so long.
He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Evrat sometimes.
Laid back doesn't do much.
Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better.
Treasure
Oh,
Hood.
he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some Union men. Heh, I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that. Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice friendly sort, old Titus is. I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Evrat would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister.
It's even normal.
The
Renee.
Night Guard. Ooh, he's a peculiar fellow. He's the strong, silent type, you could say. We talk all the time, but I don't really know much about him. He plays petanque with my old human studies teacher, Mr. Martin, down at the plaza. I think he's the only fellow who actually knows old Renee. They lived on the same street their entire lives. Even dated the same girl on and off for as long as I can remember. Strange fellows. Mr. Martin was always real nice to me in school. I remember once. Mr. Martin, yes. Don't really remember much about him. I was just a boy back then.
Oh boy, he looks so old now.
Mr. Martin, Gaston also taught history and human studies to the Clear brothers.
In studies. Interesting.
Sure, mister. What can Leo do for you?
I really want to help you.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, yes. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel... Yes, yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all...
I already accepted the
They
task.
brew it in the whirling in rags. Oh, the whirling's good. Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that.
Hmm. So they call themselves the pigs? All that's still waiting to be done. Be nice to get my gun back. Eventually.
You're back before...
Oi, oi, oi. Oh, jam lock shuffle. Shuffle all day. Guess I'll go over to apartment 20 now. There'll be a few stops to make. Yeah. Right? Out there
File
from here.
cabinets, hundreds of... And the same material. You already went through all of the drawers. So
Don't be anything newly incriminating there. What does Musclehead do over here?
The unpromising race pupil returns.
Why not lift the Holly Boys?
I am not the first line of defense. I am the last. In addition, These so-called Hardy Boys are an effeminate clique of bodybuilders. Their company is spiritually degrading.
You pick up on something artificial in his tone, like he's putting on an act. This is unlike him. He is usually more himself.
Not too. What have you got against them?
Fine. They have recently fallen under the influence of a possibly sexually perverted female vagrant and a narcotics peddler. It's shameful.
Influence. Shameful. That's the woman.
Find out for yourself. Endomorphic blob.
Interesting.
Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that. Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront international capital. Something your race, naivistic communists, never did. Also, to serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic.
And James is a mysterious fourth thing.
Idiotic communism is the single greatest contributor to your race descent. Everywhere around you. The fruits of its failure to challenge the world order. Individualism, rock and roll music, sexually transmitted diseases. Above all, rampant multinational finance still reigning large. Tell me, where have you gotten your love of pathetic communism from? Degenerate youth culture? Rock and roll music?
I got on disco actually.
Offshoots of the Seminoles people invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. It is a shame upon my race. But what is done is done.
A shame.
I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race.
Measurehead stoically looks to the distance, in silence.
I think this racist is better than the last, but the next racist will be the really good one.
It'll be a really good one.
That will be
That'll be out. And there'll be a next racist.
There always is.
Race is reality.
Leave. Amazing.
All I'm wondering.
Let's see, where the head next? Where the head next? I don't think I'm getting any of that guy. Did you say anything else?
Hello, compatriot. You have something to discuss?
I am going. You have anything?
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
That's all for now. Yeah, there's gotta be more I can do. Not at the apartments. Can't reach it from there. Give my condolences to Lady in Apartment 20.
Give me a moment. It's about Victor, isn't it? It's always about Victor with her. You'll find the Maisons in apartment 20 upstairs. It's one of those doors on the balcony. Ask away, police. Oh.
That's all, that's all. The real estate agent's gone. The guy won't be there until late. Guess that's when evening comes? 21. 9 PM or so.
A weathered brown door. Something smells good. Soup allons yo. The lieutenant motions to you to go ahead and knock.
You're right. Let's talk this through.
You hear light footsteps passing by the door and some folk music playing on the radio.
We have our first preliminary identification. In all likelihood, the deceased is the husband of Billy Maison. We need to confirm this, as well as deliver the death notification to Billy herself.
Need to confirm this?
Now, delivering a death notification is never an easy task. There's a reason why it's often called the most stressful part of our job. This is why it's usually done in pairs. You got this. I'll be monitoring reactions, ready to act if necessary. Dead? Just don't say that you know how they feel. You don't.
No.
Yes, it's hard. But there is no easy way to handle this information. It just has to happen, as soon as possible.
The lieutenant motions towards the door. And someone turns down the radio. He gives you a short, encouraging nod.
Something inside.
Tidying up, nervously.
Time to deliver the news. The second body I found is your husband. Oh boy. Circles. No one, okay? Take a slow and explore your apartment. Be respectful. Went to pack a bed, I saw a cigarette sitting under the bed. Found on the trash next to the deceased. Hello, detective. They fold curtains. Did a honey. Kept him on the stovetop. Plug green onions here. Chopped on high chocolate, just go over the years. cosmetics, trigonometry, mostly. Also, the contemporary pop stars logo on the walls. Look, sticking away an old shield from this.
It's you from the book stand. Did you come to bring my cockatoo back?
Oh no! I was just randomly asking if your husband was missing. I didn't think he would be dead. No. If I was my adventures for.
I don't think I introduced myself properly. I'm Billy. Would you like something to drink? Tea? Lemonade? We're out of coffee.
The lieutenant has taken off his foggy glasses and is busy cleaning them in his handkerchief. For now, you're on your own here.
No. Actually, I think I do have the speed drug on me, but I'm not using it. On your own here. Thanks, but I'm alright.
Is this about Victor, my husband? Is he in some kind of trouble again? I can come pick him up in the station if that's what.
That's because she has speed. She's offering beverage. No, I'll take a couple of drugs actually, thank you. Jeez. This is about Victor, my husband. Is he in some kind of trouble again? Pick him up in the station, that's what.
No. This is something much worse. Is he in a hospital? How bad is it?
How bad is it? He's dead. He's dead. Hospital? How bad is it?
How about some small talk before you break the news?
Oh my gosh, my empathy. Is a red check. Identify the leather jacket. Identify the library card. Discuss things to the Lieutenant's handkerchief. So, how have you been? If you're Victor's husband, right?
It's me, Victor. And the kids here. We have 2 daughters, Jenny and Jolie. Jolie is 16 and Jenny is turning 18 next month.
Possible for base Kim. Yep, Kim is based. How's everybody? I don't see anyone home.
The girls are staying at their friend's place tonight. And Victor is out.
Doesn't come home.
No. Why? Do you have any news?
You know, did you make it to the library?
No. I guess I'll find out when he decides to come back home.
At the front door.
It shouldn't be long from now. He's never gone for more than a few days. Oh, it's in Jamrock. The one at Mayro Street. I don't know the official name.
Central Jamrock Public Library?
I think, yes, if that's the one on Mayro.
It is.
Just to return a book of mine? Why?
Actually,
Why all
physically.
those questions, detective? Did he...
Attempting to combine
Yes.
Teba. While scrunching up into a bold expression.
His old leather jacket. It's just your average brown leather jacket, but he bought it as a teenager, so... Yes. The lining is hand-sewn, it's blue. I tried to make the thing more weatherproof since he's running around with it in the middle of winter.
She folds her hand. Here it comes.
I need to increase empathy, but I don't think I can do it. I don't think I want to do it. Empathy. I'm being as empathetic as I can be here, miss. I need to put on my empathetic glasses before I get ready. You don't understand, this is really hard for me. What else you're cooking? Amazing. Oh, that's +2 empathy. Oh my gosh, this is the quick save spot, if anything.
She
Oh
looks
jeez.
up, too anxious to say anything.
72%'s pretty good. I know, so you were cooking something.
People got to eat? What is this about? Why are you suddenly asking me about my cooking?
Ah! I made it go down! Oh, I made her anxious. Alcohol you can drink. Okay.
You've done this
Yay.
before. Just keep your focus.
Ah, even with the anxiety. Don't ask her about the cooking, guys. Worst mistake of my life. No alcohol you can drink. You've done this before, so just keep your focus. No, I should say he's dead.
Yes, that's the most important thing. Use that word. No euphemisms. This is what you came here
Thank you, fool. Ma'am, I'm very sorry to say, but your husband Victor Najin was found dead on the Mountainese boardwalk. He's dead.
What did you say?
A great and terrible spike. The blood freezes in her veins.
Great and terrible spike. That's how I feel lost, man.
Oh,
He touches her neck, eyes pale like poles in sea model.
oh. But he was just...
It's just... She looks at the kitchen table, the 2 cigarette butts are still in the tray.
But he was just here. Alive.
We understand this comes as a huge shock. I want you to know that me and my partner are here for you if you have any questions. Take your time, ma'am.
What happened to him?
What happened to him? Honestly, her neck and cheeks are covered with red blotches, her double chin is shaking.
Was he drunk?
I may play the role, yes.
I see. And you just found him there, lying in the cold. How long had he been there?
If you say 2 days maybe, it will be etched in her mind forever.
Empathy. Do I want that to be etched on mine forever? Maybe etched on mine forever. I've been wrong. No topple. Don't say the 2 days maybe. Is that what you mean? I'm gonna say it couldn't have been long. Do not say 3.
She blinks, eyes welling up with tears, as her hand starts searching for something from the pockets of her dress.
Pockets for dress.
The handkerchief.
The handkerchief. Give them the 10th handkerchief. It's too special. Come on. Let's give them the 10th
Small,
handkerchief.
terrified smile quivers on her face as she takes the handkerchief and wipes away the tears. She looks disoriented.
It's too special. You have to give her the handkerchief. It was a +1. Oh.
Is there anyone we could call for you? A friend, a family member, someone who could be here for you?
No, no. I just need to tell my girls.
Reason. Tell my goals. So you get so devil looks on me.
It burns like acid.
Bones like acid.
God, should I call them? Should I tell them to come home?
Uh.
No. A day.
No, a day. Yes, they should know. Do you want us to call them and ask them you? Think of the go. You'll be better prepared when they come home tomorrow.
Good. That's probably the right thing. Thank you.
In not both a wretched expression.
Just tell me, what do I need to do next? Where is he? Can I see him?
We've taken him to the city morgue. The local coroner will be contacting you shortly to arrange the funeral. Here's his number in case you want to contact him earlier.
Very good call.
Is there anything else that the RCM could do for you?
No, I'll call you if something comes up. I'm still...
Here's my number. Oh, bad death. Bad. Bonk. She rubs her face, runs her fingers over her cheeks that have become numb.
Thank you. Thank you for telling me. I'll call if...
Looks down, thank you for telling me. I'll call if she runs out of breath.
We should step outside and talk.
Let the library called by Hole leave the room. Oh, that's the only option. Dot dot dot. Fuck.
You did well.
My books! My free books! You did well. The lieutenant says as soon as you left the apartment. Balcony feels cool and quiet with a stunning view over the district. What now?
I'll call the station when we're finished with the day, and let them know the name of the deceased. That's it. We should get back to our case now that our duty here is done.
Building her kids.
We'll manage. Let's go.
Let's go. Task complete. Dead body on the boardwalk. Good thing I looked at if you were on the room first, I guess.
This door is made of no one.
We should return in the evening.
Well, I could help you, ma'am. Identify the body for you. Done. How many skill points? So little I want to buy yet. I have to come back to the apartment later in the day. But what else? I bet there's so much stuff to find on the coast, right? I've got at least 3 leads telling me that stuff is hidden on the coast. There has to be more there.
Trying to sneak up.
This game makes it almost play up a joke that you have to find this random lady's husband. He's just dead.
It is such a pleasure to see you again. Sure, officer. They are the good guys around here. What do you need? Everyone.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath, and there he stands.
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
No, thank you.
Let's just reconfirm something I kind of already knew. Did I talk to them? The radio?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer. Over. Roger that, 10-10.
Nothing there. I don't walk up exclusively around the coast this time. There has to be more stuff that I can drag up. Get out of the drag here. Somewhere, anywhere. The walker is either very confused or drunk out of his mind. Yep, that's me.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards.
Did you ever find anything that looked specifically like a fishing village? I'm not sure if I did. I could.
The scruffy-haired little boy.
Yes. Yes.
It doesn't look like he knows what that means.
I could. Hey. Alright, good night, Dev. It's gonna be sleep time for me too soon enough. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Have a good night, have a good night. Woo, woo, woo. Looking back at you from the bus code water. You! It's me! It's you. It's me. Come on, coastline, give me something good. Ah, money. Purpose, could deposit high treasure? Look inside. Alcohol. All the pulse hiding goodies. Oh. Magnesium. Money. Is this because of my Jamlock shuffle? I bet it is. That's the torch. Why is anything need to hold?
Hello again. Oh, that...
She's less prone to blurted out.
Okay. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange. And then, you know, he stopped right...
Like a crab, you say?
I saw the crab
You
man.
saw him? Does it mean that you went in there? Did you see the other spooker, the one in Grandma's clothes? Good, so you believe me. You should go tell this to Andre. He'll know what to do next. My associates? I haven't got my... Of course I do.
To the cops.
Me? Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but... Sure. Contact me. Okay. Recording. I think I'm recording cracks in the ice. My boy... I don't know.
A lie.
The musicians in... Anyway, I don't really know what...
Take this. You're...
No, man, fuck that, I'm cool.
It's okay.
My hat?
Go ahead.
I'm really gonna give up my goofy fog hat? Oh no. I don't know if I am. I'm not sure if I'm willing to do any of it.
A pane of Eternite has been planted into the snow. 2 poles are holding it up. Barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind might be enough.
It looks like a makeshift bridge. Could be convenient.
The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk.
Oh. This is convenient. Shortcut. Feels like I couldn't interact with it before. I wonder if it was dependent on the level. Coastline gives me something. I got a good lead that. Ooh, lock. What is all this? How did I find this before? Most of these used to tone the whole machine. Playing before you house the engine. That's been a big one. And trails off in the ocean to who knows where. Has been recently discovered, still smells of fuel oil. This is where stuff gets dripped on pot. I didn't explore this yet. Hot dog, new ground, and still leading the day. Figure butts clean away under a rock, brain time Michi. I meant to note. Michi seems important somehow. Michi. I made a campfire a long time ago. Busted broken control box for the radio relay tower. Noise cracking. Way too us to climb to see as Ina May added. This relay tower coordinates boat traffic in the bay. Bailey. A scented scarf? Tiny inlets there, off in the far distance of the post trail told. Tiny islet. Can I use my... Can I get there? I wanna go there. How do I go there? Before I get too far off, let me go in that little building if I can. This game's map is confusing enough to get lost in when it's nice and open.
Worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
Oh my gosh. 20? That's how much it needs? 20 interface?
It's military. A service depot of some sort. The washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
That's nearly impossible. Will it change that off if I even like equip my tool ball? Does that make a bit of difference?
An old door, worn by
Not a
elements,
bit.
guards the depot.
Dang, that's just an impossible task there. Yeesh. Alright, never mind that. Assault. Bipolar assault. There's my relic. I know I'll find a relic somewhere eventually.
You pick up the handset. There's a tone. The machine is operable.
I'm not gonna do a random number. No point in doing that. The body's been moved. Hasty fermentation.
There's some tear.
At least they moved the body.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years. Dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow of a collapsing staircase. There's rust and corrosion on the bars. They're foaming with it. And a small layer of white salt from the sea.
No. I won't even try. You know, I
There's
had a
person
partner
up.
once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
They called him Eyes because he had to show me things.
Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I pass my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
You good? Hello, Paulson. What are you doing here?
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
Guys, he's approaching and smiles.
You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Trond Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
Hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
Collection of hyperlinks.
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall. No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers. Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into Worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
Wow, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
Detective, a word? Excuse us a moment, please.
Of course, Lieutenant. Take your time. Mikhail and I have plenty to keep us occupied.
I haven't the faintest idea who this gentleman is, but I've got a hunch he might have some affiliation with the Coalition, in case you're still serious about that committee business.
Hey, Kim's throwing me a bone! I have a fancy of who this gentleman is.
In any case, I'll let you take it from here.
Hey!
You both turn back to the blonde man.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
Raises his hand to his eyes to shield himself from the freezing snow.
What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Boom.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a Midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era.
It's weird that this electrical be considered such an old thing. I guess to compare to real life, you know, reality, when electronics started booming in like the 50s and 60s, it only took a couple of decades to go, and bing bang boom, there was the internet. This was like, and then we used the radio to contact everything. It's like, what? I guess they got some form of games on the radio computers somehow.
Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve. Or should I say, they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here.
That is.
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
Tape computer?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer.
Home computers, basically.
Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN, and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
Admiring the sentence he just produced. Because they're still using outdated tech. Old computers used to have to run tape through hundreds of walls just to get simple basic mathematical operations done. These people haven't discovered tubes. Actual tubes. Vacuum tubes to be exact. That would jump up their tech a couple decades.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
I was on the sleeve.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even a boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
R&D.
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
For the boys.
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
He means they all got shot in the head because they're bourgeois. And do you know what bourgeois is? Tape computers, mate. Please. Be better with kids than that.
Tape computers. Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Picturing Gon was rising to the sky.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
They call Ferris wheel pleasure wheels because Ferris is, you know, a real world. It's a made up world.
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars. What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bon Baiser dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in Worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
Something.
Buckle up.
Buckle up!
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Iran. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center?
Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center?
What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Yost?
What are you talking about?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Art. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
The Humpty Dumpty Dum Center. No, this again. The wards. Those wards. Stuff drew on Lagerman's notion of memory. And so there was some parallels, which is why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to... You're making this up. Kim, is he making this up?
In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center.
I gained the thought of Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center just because it sounds so ridiculous. Well, I can't get out of my head. Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center. What does it mean? Place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort.
But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Write directly on the tape. Didn't all computers use punch cards? You know, to get over the whole read handwriting thing. Interesting.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Those. Oh. The black film and folding tape structures.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07.
Playback experiment?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Felt Playback Experience, but those are incorrect. Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
It's mournfully in the wind. That's something else.
But of course, what else?
What did he help me contact the coalition?
Well, that certainly depends. You know, the popular image of the coalition is of a monolithic political military entity. but in reality, it's comprised of many interconnected yet semi-autonomous components.
Semi-autonomous. Take entity.
For instance, the offices of Inchicom are responsible for military affairs. These offices are located in the Bank of the World building, just a few kilometers from here.
All the skyscrapers across the bay.
Well, then there's also the Provisional Commission, as well as the Institute for Revacholian Culture, with its architecturally significant headquarters in Le Jardin. Inchicom is responsible for all aspects of the military occupation of Revachol. During the revolution, they coordinated the efforts of the Occidental and Gradian invasion, but these days their function is primarily logistical. Oh, the Institute is a marvelous organization, my favorite part of the coalition by far. Their mandate is twofold: to export notable works of Revacholian culture throughout the Moral Intern, while also importing the most important cultural products of the wider world to citizens of Revachol. There's an exhibition on Vespertine Proto-Expressionism that I can't wait to take Mikhail to. We're working our way through the major artistic movements of the last century.
Proto-Expressionism.
Of course there is. The Coalition's economic affairs are handled by the Bank of the World, Revachol Mission. They operate in concert with the Institute of Price Stabilité in Serre-la-Claire.
That's all fine, but what if I want to sign responsibility?
Ah, that's simple. You're looking for the Comité de Responsabilité de Revachol. It's a sort of clearinghouse for coalition affairs in Revachol.
Yes, this is just the sort of reasonable authority you're looking for.
Yes, it is, I guess.
If you will, picture the coalition as a kind of wheel. The hub of this wheel is the Comité de Responsabilité, and out from that hub radiate a great many spokes, which connect to Inchicom, the Institute for Revacholian Culture, the Provisional Commission, and so on. I have a long-standing interest in political systems. You see, it's my personal theory that political systems are a lot like personalities. In other words, how a state organizes itself is in some way the public expression of its innermost character.
Personality politics.
The man smiles at you for a long moment. He is doing his best not to show it, but the smile is ever so slightly more forced than before.
Lights just came on.
Of course, officer, we've only recently met. It would require a more thorough conversation than we have time for to answer a question like that. It's fascinating to think about, though, isn't it?
As you almost kept on the coalition. I am in touch with the committee.
Well now, that is rather complicated. You can write to the committee directly, but I understand that there's quite the backlog. A month or more, according to friends of mine who just so happen to know about this sort of thing. Of course, if you could somehow contact Coalition Warship Archer, you could reach the committee directly. But, well, that obviously presents any number of logistical and technical challenges. A very astute question. You see, in addition to its role as a military warship, the Archer is also responsible for coordinating all Coalition communications and surveillance operations in Revachol. Not just watching, it's listening as well. I don't know the particulars, of course, but I would expect a warship like the Archer to possess the most advanced surveillance equipment available outside of Seoul. Well, I suppose you could rent a private aerostatic and attempt to rendezvous with Archer directly, but I must caution against it. Warships like the Archer are usually authorized to fire on unidentified aerostatics on site. That might be the trickiest question of all. From a technical standpoint, it shouldn't be all that difficult. You simply require a radio transmitter capable of broadcasting on Coalition frequencies. The problem is that those sorts of radio transmitters are tightly controlled by the Coalition. Even the RCM doesn't typically have access to them outside of special joint operations.
Radio transmitters.
He's correct. It makes coordinating operations with the Coalition exceedingly difficult, from our perspective.
That said, someone with a powerful radio and a certain level of technical skill might be able to circuit bend their way onto the Coalition frequencies.
Coalition frequencies.
It's only too bad the old Feld engineers are no longer available. This sort of thing would have been right in their wheelhouse.
She's not a Feld engineer exactly, but perhaps that programmer from the church might be of assistance?
In any event, it's a fascinating technical challenge. I'll be very interested to see how you tackle it.
Look, someone has money. Do you have any money? Interesting information.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain? If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever.
My own brain. Whatever. Pick your brain.
You see, a slogan used to intertwine.
How do I go up there? Something to it. There's something to...
Yes.
Oh, nothing. There's something to this building. Something I want to go in there for. I really gotta tell this guy. Don't simple. Outside. Don't simple.
Hello, hello. What can I do for you, officer? Hell no. I had no idea. And I'm still cross with him, to be honest. It's not like him. He's got his quirks, but dishonesty, disloyalty are not one of them.
Thanks.
There's anyone. Time to return to your woman more.
By woman, you mean my wife, I assume? I will return to her. I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
Helena would be.
Come on, Morel. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
I don't know if I'm so important to Lena. It's very soft now. Oh. Important to me. It is important to Lena.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
She's seen it?
Yes, that's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine. Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian Phasmid together. I can't abandon course now. No. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. What would we do if the Phasmid were to starve while we were sipping tea at the hostel?
He's dead set on this. I could go for some trap setting.
I could go for some trap setting, says my interfacing.
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
It looks like I'll be surprised. I'm hooked.
Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research, attention to detail, and, above all, persistence. There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near.
Comes to the south on this little peninsula.
Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them, you should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture? Is it?
No justification. Doesn't look too convinced, but the small shrug indicates why not.
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed.
Might spray him.
It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
Lay it on me.
Wise choice.
Wise choice.
I hope you're not buying this. It dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
Lieutenant Winkles knows something that.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
Looks like the Lieutenant disdained and puts the spade back in his pocket. I mean, let's get to it.
Which means you two can pack up and go back to the boiling.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it.
I think I'm good.
Okay. I already did my best to inform you. I don't really know what else I could discuss with the layman.
I know all about the green ape.
I see you've been talking about cryptids with Lena. The kind green ape is one of her favourites. We travelled to South Safra to look for it once. Gary and I got stuck in a rainstorm though, and had to spend most of our time there in a little village. The search was fabulously unsuccessful, but the people were very nice. I'm glad they didn't understand what Gary was saying about them.
What? South Safra? They're just on a different rung of the ladder, Morale. I had no problem with them.
Really? You kept complaining about how dirty everything is, but we digress.
They're a nascent culture. I just didn't feel comfortable. And let's change the topic, okay? Talk about your critters, or whatever.
Oh, something.
Formerly the most dangerous, yes. But do you know the most dangerous living cryptid? The most dangerous cryptid is a carnivorous ruminant, known colloquially as the dread moose.
Dread moose?
The dread moose subsists entirely on flesh. It has even been known to dig up fresh graves in search of sustenance. Human remains have been found deep in the forest, torn apart, then trampled into the mulch by large hooves. Infer from that what you will. Just like an ordinary Arden moose. You can't. That's what makes it so dreadful and hard to identify.
Hard to identify. I only believe it exists.
Of course you do.
The bodies found in the forest are just one piece of physical evidence. There's more. Sightings in Vasa, reaching back 4 centuries. But, of course, nothing satiates the skepticism of.
Of course you do.
Detective, pardon me, I did not wish to seek conflict. It's simply my training to question things.
Understood, Lieutenant.
And looks at you.
That's impressive, I guess. But have you seen it with your own eyes?
No. No. No.
Of course you haven't.
Have you seen it?
I haven't had a chance to travel to Coco Nord. No. And I likely never will. The Samaskil desert region has been embroiled in a small civil war for the last 8 years. I fear this mindless barbarism may have wiped out the elusive creature entirely. Sightings of towering luminosities have grown rare recently, while they once used to be constant.
It It remains unclear what this has got to do with you seeing it, as he was inquiring before. He was just being...
Oh, everyone knows about that one. Thanks to Professor Mijanou being the talk of the town for a time. Although, probably because her life ended as a result of her work in Gutler, no one remembers her contributions to the search for the Nongok. A flightless cursor owl found in the Seminine Isles. Its long legs permit the Nongok to run faster than any other avian, perhaps any other animal, who knows? When it's not hunting its prey in this manner, the Ock hangs from tree branches, like a bat, waiting to dive on hapless prey below on the jungle floor. Mijanou liked extreme animals, you see. One of the few figures of the academic establishment I respect. Really a shame she disappeared. Oh, decades ago. In the 30s. I didn't know her personally, of course. The chasm of academic pretension still stood before us, even though she had unusual courage for someone from the other side. By all means.
Let's look at those traps. I should know what one is. Though it's still a bit of a shame. I wanted to see if there's space in it to get into these buildings.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. Same mesh, same wiring. Behind you, the ruins of a residential building rise over the reeds, shielding them from the wind. The reeds rustle confidently. Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten. You see no carnivorous reed phasmid gorging on them.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go.
Pigman's mirthlessly.
I meant no offense, just...
I meant no offense, just... Doesn't know how to finish the sentence. That's right, Kim. I'm not expecting to find them. Just let me help them. I like helping them. I can't help it, I'm a helper. Go, detectives, go. Hey, this is almost as good as a pulse break. Drink some water. I imagine if the phasmid actually exists. This whole game has been playing me for a fool. This entire time. It was real. It was. I didn't know what the saving was, at least. There it is.
A familiar apparatus lies among the reeds. Another one of Morel's traps, weighed down by stones to keep it in place. The reeds sway in the coastal breeze. They seem to be waiting for something. The wind picks up here, near the cape's end, surrounding the narrow strip of land from 3 cardinal directions. It's cold for this time of year. This trap is also full of panicked locusts. No sign of any cryptozoological beast inside.
Another empty trap.
Excellent. More out of habit than duty.
Always up for a good job. Otherwise, would I still be on this case with you?
Last race is called Minty. Would I still be on this case? Cause I like running everywhere. I got good humor. Humor. I run everywhere. Must be as a result from all the weird sleep I got yesterday, but I'm not that tired. Real bummer, to be sure. And everyone live in West Beverchol was a dump. There was hardly anything here. Ah, there's the truck. Way over here.
This trap's not too hard to spot, once you know what to look for. Keeping it hidden has not been a priority for the cryptozoologist. The reeds bend forlornly toward the sand. You see slabs of concrete north. In the east, the city center hums to you. The constant, distant song, louder on this part of the coast, nearer somehow. And there's that cold again. Always the cold. Nothing but locusts in this trap as well. Definitely no cryptozoological monstrosity.
Empty as all of them. One more of these and we're done.
I can't see you. He crouches to catch his breath. You getting tired? What four of these are not done?
No, I'm fine. I didn't mean to complain, it's just...
Don't render the sentence sensitive. I feel like I have infinite energy, man. Click, 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 click. Hey kid, you know you live in a real spot of town, right? I gotta get the kids' signatures already. Pretty nice AI they got, so they gotta follow me everywhere like this.
This is the last of the traps. The one Morel just set. Checking it over, he said, is just a technicality. The reeds by the abandoned campsite hiss and shake. It's good the cryptozoologists left. This isn't a very cozy place to stay night after night. The later it gets, the colder. Remnants of the camp can still be seen in the sand. The fire that's gone out. You feel strange, somehow. The trap feels light and silent as you pick it up. Something is different here. locus.
Yes.
No phasmid either, but still.
Well, the bait worked on something. This doesn't mean it was a reed monster, though. Unless you see one in there, I just see an empty trap.
The netting is a little untidy, messier than the others. Like someone or something picked the trap up and shook it before dropping it back down on the ground.
Perhaps our cryptozoologists have competition in the form of an actual entomologist, or someone else is sabotaging them. I could present more theories, but then I would be taking this on as a case, which I'm not.
Which I'm not.
We did sort of promise to tell them, didn't we?
Seems to be quite defect.
The reeds, but it's good the cryptozoologist, the later it gets. You've checked all the traps now. There's nothing.
Yeah, let's go back. Man, how do I go out to the water? What? Ah, but what about the church lady? I got talking to do with her too. I don't care about the music people just yet. I feel like I should do other stuff with that music beforehand. Hey, lady.
Yes, what is it? Do I look like someone who has time for side projects at this moment?
If you want her help, maybe you should help her first.
The swallow, you mean? What about it? Yes, that's what led me here. Great. Thanks.
How can I help her though? That was a quick dead end. Maybe I should get her the cube from the other place. I bet she would appreciate getting it. Yeah. Because if I take the cube from there and then hit it, it counts as something. isn't much to do over here. Now, of all the things, still can't ask this person out.
The waves are beginning to die down.
Oh, hey.
Those little bastards.
I found something.
Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
My poor cough. Wow, the street looks like an actual street full of people. Somehow I've yet to find that lady. All the things. Of all the people to not find yet, she must be in hiding. To some degree. Any updates on that? Look like it. Who are you?
Boy, am I ever so grateful to you, officer. But I'm not the only one who wants to thank you.
That's him. The heck?
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you. Here, I want to give you a small token of my gratitude. It's a tie, Meskin origin. The pin is an antique, quite special.
Quite special. AI Geotone type. Silverboard school.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. It's in the shape of an avian skull with 8 eyes. You could ask her about this when you get the time. It's probably a cryptid, but the phasmid, of course, is more important.
You know, to hell with it. Let's have more cryptids.
Of course, officers. Is there a particular cryptid you two are interested in learning about?
That game is so fed up with it. Oh my gosh.
No. It's the cryptid.
Just brought 8 cryptid. Cryptid?
Oh, yes.
Shines. What is this? Gold shines between your fingers, it speaks shock.
The 8-eyed Teratorn, the largest flying avian ever discovered, with a wingspan of 11.5 meters. It was thought to have gone extinct 3,500 years ago. Some even doubted the fossils were real. A mutation, they said. Until...
Mutation? All of evolution is a mutation.
until it was sighted by renowned Gotvaldian explorer and naturalist Uwe Plattenkalk in 21.
This renown seems a bit dubious. Your own catalogue comes up completely empty, but, of course, you are not all-knowing.
It happened on a botanical expedition into the vast and unexplored Oamrau Canyon in southeast Ilmara. Dr. Plattenkalk got separated from his group during a sandstorm. The world's largest canyon system, sweetie. It's a barren waste east of the Erg Desert, an ancient riverbed completely dried up. Alone in the blasted desert heat, the doctor wandered eastward, where man hasn't stepped foot in over 1,000 years, since the fall of Pericarnassus. He was lost, without any navigation equipment and desperately low on water. After a day or two, he noticed a bird high in the noon sky. A great blackbird, it seemed gargantuan. Every now and then, the bird would dive down to feed on an animal carcass somewhere on the horizon. But by the time Uwe got there, the Teratorn had taken off already, and the carcass was picked clean. This happened many times. Yes, or rather, hunting. A bird that big has a lot of blood in it, and he was dying of thirst. For many days, Dr. Plattenkalk followed the Teratorn until they reached a great canyon wall where the bird finally landed to rest. The professor climbed up there with a rock in his hand. He found the bird sleeping with his head tucked under its wing, a great black pile of feathers on the perch. So he approached, slowly squeezing the rock in his fist.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Then, the Teratorn suddenly looked at him. He could see it had 8 eyes, 4 on either side of its skull, like a spider. And the man couldn't move. He was paralyzed, frozen into place with the rock in his hand. Whatever he did, he could not get closer to the bird. The bird was controlling his mind. It kept him from approaching. He could step back, but every time he stepped forward, paralysis. Uwe spent 3 days trying until the bird flew away. The 8-eyed Teratorn was indifferent to him, as long as he didn't get closer than 2 steps. It even let him feed on some carcasses up there, and the 2 unfertilized eggs it left behind.
Oh my.
Absolutely, sweetie. Cryptozoologists have been tracing it ever since, but Wamrau is vast, mysterious, and holds many secrets.
AI mind controlling board.
Modern radar telemetry shows great promise. We will confirm this one by the end of the decade, latest.
This one I liked. Not only does it have 8 eyes, and is a living fossil, and the largest bird ever to live, it also does mind control.
This one I don't like. It also does mind control.
He's sincere. He likes the audacity of it.
This is ridiculous.
Sadly, yes, but there are numerous reports of 8-eyed bird skulls from Ilmara. And then there's the striking resemblance to the Pericarnassian imperial eagle, an ancient heraldic symbol that is hard to pass off as coincidence. The imperial eagle, too, had 8 eyes.
Not really. It's just stylization. The way they drew eyes. It's not a zoological drawing.
I got experience would be like, not really.
Very, very hard.
Very, very hard. Just that voice line.
This one's very famous. Everyone knows it. People will be looking at that tie on you and thinking that man is into cryptids. So, what else do you want to know?
That man is into cryptids.
I'm glad you like them, but I'm not really one to tell you about all of them. You should ask me. Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramblings.
Ramblings? Nonsense. Your description of the phasmid is the most precise I've ever heard.
But darling, I didn't even get the size of it right.
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what you were able to describe. Now go on. Tell our friend about it. He's proven his interest in the field.
Reflexively, the lieutenant read his familiar notebook.
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden... I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 5 and a half in Betancourt in the suburbs. My grandmother had a summer home there.
Betancourt got bombed in the war. It used to be quite near, circa 20 kilometers from here.
The strangest moment of my life. I looked up and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy. I've never seen anything like it. I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds. I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there knee-deep in mud, looking around me. I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel.
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the Insulindian phasmid I've ever heard. The sounds. She told me it hissed.
It did, yes. Like reeds in a gust of wind.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble. It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. It was amazing. If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope years ago. It's no exaggeration to say that she restored my faith in my profession.
Our first, yes.
Not all of them. There is some white coloration reported, along with beige, where the camouflage ends.
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I was then, but that's probably not the case.
I thought it was a wonderful story, ma'am.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just such an impossibly sunshiny day. So warm.
I couldn't possibly shower thanks on you as enthusiastically as my wife has, but I am grateful for your assistance, officer.
He tries to play it cool, remain professorial, but inside, this man is itching for some news on those traps.
Good. Okay. And? Completely empty?
No locusts? No phasmid either?
That's not ideal, but... I definitely left that one stocked.
Right from the campsite? Just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
She's engaging in a well-known self-deception called motivated reasoning. You should correct them.
Correct them. Motivated reasoning?
Of course, more clever.
Yes. The Phantasmadeia picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps. Make them more secure.
Another trip to the reeds.
Another trip to the reeds.
I appreciate your concern, officer, but please leave this to the experts. Unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to venture.
You're jabbing at the soft underbelly of his psyche. He realizes he's gotten defensive.
Actually, no. Excuse me for getting emotional. This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too. My gratitude, and the gratitude of the Société Cryptozoologique de Ravachol is yours.
You got friendly.
Heartfelt gratitude. But does it feel like closure? What really happened? Some kind of foul play might be afoot. Theft?
Thank you, it's an honor. We should probably return to our main investigation here. This has been refreshing.
Insulted Morville, come on. Hey, it's a right check. Yoink.
Consider the way the empty trap was disturbed. as though shaken. Most likely the hands of a young person. Hands small enough to fit inside the trap, too.
Oh, to fit inside the trap. A young person?
You should ask the red-headed boy, Kuno.
A little hooligan. But what would a child want with bags?
Oh, my dear Morel. You've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment old folks.
Delinquents, my favorite.
His favorite.
He's such a dear to us. Please, let us know whatever you turn up. I have a feeling we're getting so close.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play suzerainty, but no more field trips for me.
After this is your last chance to talk to Gary.
After this is your last chance. I think I got everything I need from him.
Really, Gary? We're getting somewhere here. I'd love to play suzerainty, but...
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants around here. Leave anything out in the open and they'll steal it, even if it's bugs. Morel, it's been fun, really, but I need a bath and I have deliveries to handle. When this tea is done, I gotta run.
No need to apologize, Geary. You'd be more than helpful. We'll have to take a rain check on that game of suzerainty today, though. We're gonna follow this through.
Very generous of you to help us out, officer. I'm sure glad to be back from that little excursion. I mean, officers. I told you everything. I just took the querist, that's all. I promise. I don't know anything else.
'Tis true, sire. This man simply did not know what he was getting caught up in.
Yep, that sounds good enough to me. Now I gotta talk to Kuno.
Does Kuno care? No, Kuno doesn't give a fuck about bugs.
So he knows locusts are bugs.
He knows locusts are bugs.
Oh my god, I told you that shit is lame!
Shut up, see.
Now they're gonna take you to lame prison!
Lame prison.
Deny everything, Kuno. You need to lawyer up.
Kuno's not gonna say anything without his lawyer present.
Lawyer.
There's definitely something going on here. Remember his pig's head shack? You should check it out.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
I'll die before I squeal, pig.
Other bugs. Oh, there's locusts in here.
All around you, The hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. The earthen floor of the shack has been shaped into mounds of mud, dotted with little holes for windows. Like skyscrapers, spires of dirt and sand rising. Accommodations for their insectoid inhabitants.
Well, detective, it appears you've solved the case.
Anthony's notebook and turns to you.
Of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary insect case. So at least that's going well.
I'm doing love this for the missing locust case, which is a sub-case of the imaginary. It's a case that's always going well. Come on, Ken, please! Stop being so sarcastic, Ken. Precisely what I was thinking.
Yes. I feel we are nearing a real breakthrough.
Here we are, nearing a real breakthrough. Think this investment is nearby?
I'll let you handle the Kuno side of things. You are doing just fine.
Oh my gosh. Doing real well. Kuno.
Fuck does Kuno care? Yeah. Kuno took the books, so what?
In your eyes, a solid defiance.
It's not Bugtown. It's the city of locusts. Locusts aren't just bug shit. They come out of the sky like a fucking shadow. Shit descends.
Stop!
From behind the fence. The days are facing her hands.
You stop. It's like their fucking night. Locust City, Night City, City of Rage.
There's a tug of war over the name of his fantastical city. It's almost too big for his imagination. The girl forces herself to watch again, the corners of her eyes twitching from discomfort. The lameness is causing her physical pain. The damage may be permanent.
Damage may be permanent.
Kuno, the pig wants to help you. Oh, that's how lame it is. Please just don't say you're...
Don't say you're...
An artist? Maybe I am an artist. You hear that, everyone? I'm a fucking artist now.
Good.
Did he just say I? Kuno usually calls Kuno, Kuno.
Maybe I am an artist. I like this one. Acknowledge the world economy, I'm going to acknowledge myself.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you totally lame in, like, 3 seconds. Don't let him, Kuno.
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free.
He tears out a bunch of his short trying to rip them open, they don't give way.
Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno. You'll have to take me away.
Have to take me away.
In it, you hear snow melting, dripping from the eaves. Someone closing a window.
Going to be closing on Daniel Jones's unit, Youngle. Someone's coming to take you away. Someone's coming to take you away.
Without a word, she disappears entirely behind the fence. For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now, with splotches of white beginning to appear across his face. You got him. Now convince him to leave the cryptozoologist's traps alone.
It don't mean anything. It's shit. Kuno just likes to focus. Kuno likes to concentrate on shit. Build shit when he's zipping hard. Fuck. Pig, you really shouldn't have fucked with Kuno City. Now it's all fucking lame. Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die. I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. C was right.
He was right. Oh.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno.
That's all I said on that video.
The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
Just before you leave. Asmu was to himself.
He recognizes the name.
Huh.
Bitches think Kuno doesn't know shit. The fuck out of here. Kuno's tired of this shit.
Wait. You know what it is though?
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't.
How do you know the name? That's what I'm more interested in anything else. What's with me?
Murder was the case, they gave.
How? Who do you know? Hold up. How does Kuno know? He knows the name. Which one's the dad? This is dad.
Hello, officer. I think so. He was just a child.
Pulls his lips crestfallen.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means we can try again.
Just keep trying.
She acts chipper, but something's changed in her tone. A hidden worry.
Hidden worry.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect the traps one more time. And then maybe we can.
Coughing fit.
He has a 38-degree fever. His resilience has given way.
Right.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick. Maybe it's time to go home.
Take it easy.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season, when it's warmer.
Man, I'm really feeling this is costing me time on my main investigation. Oh boy. That whole thing, risking your health, you should call and go home. I'm not gonna do this anymore. This is the point where they need to go home. They're not gonna find a darn thing.
He's right, dear Morel. Come now, we've waited so long. What's one more season?
Self-deceit, sire.
You're right, dear. We'll get our shot yet. I'm sure of it.
The slouch in his shoulders tells you otherwise. He doesn't know how many more field expeditions he has left in him.
This place is much better for fieldwork in the summer, believe me.
Thank you, dear. And you, Detective Fox? You've been great company to an old lady and her stubborn husband.
And you, Detective Fox? Detective Fox is my name.
You're right, Lena. The RCM is worth their salt. More so than they say on the radio.
I've got just in case doesn't use. You're right, man. Stay on the radio. See you around the wheels. Come on. In case doesn't use. I like this one.
Okay. It's 1113 Tabernacle Road, Jamrock. But...
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Jeez. What do they do? Just get shot off into space? Fires and they leave. 2 old cryptozoologists and 1 gas-powered wheelchair. Oh, that's the wheelchair itself. Jeez. Goodbye, Lena.
Hey, was there?
Goodbye.
Again? I can't believe this shit.
Yes?
Good. I think I completed that just fine. With that, I'm gonna call it a day here. So, thanks for watching everyone. Good night and goodbye.